Well, we just had to wait a little bit while we rang through to the governor's spokesperson to get the kind of final bureaucratic seal on getting access to the jail proper. So these two American gentlemen are just helping us get inside to the cell where the tunnel actually began.
From outside, these Kandhar prison walls look unbreachable until you see inside. There, Americans and Afghans have unearthed just how sophisticated the Taliban were when they broke 475 militants out of here. The narrow tunnel doesn't travel straight, but has support beams, a tube to feed in oxygen, light fittings, and the dirt was wheeled out on trolleys. It must have been a mammoth operation.
Inside this tunnel you get an idea really of how cramped and difficult it must have been to move through, and really how long it would have taken for hundreds of people to crawl hundreds of feet out.
We go inside and enter where the Taliban were held, the political bloc, wondering exactly how did no one notice the months-long operation. We're told not to film any of the Americans, Afghans or prisoners. The corridors once full of insurgents, the cells all empty. The cell that led to freedom left, though, as it was. Life here had little luxuries and one big one, an escape route.
Well, the concrete on the floor of the cell is 2 or 3 inches thick, and it would have been literally impossible for somebody digging upwards to have broken through it. So investigators believe that people inside the cell must have finished off the tunnel.
Nobody wants to talk. Nobody here was on shift that night, they say.
Was he here that night?
If the general comes, he replies, he'll punish me for letting you in here for a long time.
Well, we're not quite sure why, but in the last 5 minutes, both the Americans and the Afghans have told us to leave. So we're going to do that.
We look for where the tunnel emerged. It is inside this house, the hole in the back of a front room now filled in.
Well, once the prisoners had emerged from the tunnel into the compound here, they faced 2 choices for how they could leave. One is a door in the corner over there, and that leads out onto a canal. Not very useful for the minibuses they apparently escaped on. The most obvious choice would have been this, the front door of the house, and this leads right out onto the main road opposite the prison.
Yes, the house is less than 100 feet from the prison's main gate. But still, the Taliban had to be stealthy. This mast is from a heavily armed American military base just down the road. And in the end, even the Americans also didn't notice the huge tunnel below until it found light at its end, until it was too late.